Charles Von Buena here with Leadership is a Way of Life. And the purpose of these videos is to help family members create happier families. Now, my intent is to preserve these insights for my posterity and friends worldwide. So let's get started. So what is the recipe for a happy family? First, let's take a look at a few ingredients, starting with the structure of a family. Now, a family refers to the collective members of a household. What that means is that the construct of a family can and are varied, but the insights we will talk about will apply to all of them. So family members may include parents, grandparents, children, extended family, and so on. So regardless of what our families may look like, we can become happier families. With our family structure now in place, we wanted to, we have to consider what the family structure might look like in the context of everyday, day-to-day life. Okay, we live in a very busy and complex world, and we're trying to juggle many important and concerning parts of our lives. We juggle concerns regarding our family, along with juggling concerns regarding our jobs, finances, our health, hobbies, our spiritual lives, safety, political and geopolitical concerns. So with all of these concerns, and they're all very important, what are we going to put in the center of our lives? Now, the reason why this is an important question is because whatever we put in the center of our lives will impact how we see everything else. And whether we realize it or not, there is something already in the center, in the middle of our lives. So the first question is, so what is in the middle of our lives now, as opposed to what do we want those things to be instead? So I've been asked how I would know what is in the center of my life. I said, well, look at it this way. What do you think about when you don't have to think about anything? Okay, so that'll probably give you a clue. So if just posing this question makes us pause, okay, this is a good thing, okay, because it's asking all of us to be deliberate about how we live our lives. So let's take a look at the impact as we substitute different things in the center of our lives. So if all these things that we talked about before are important in our lives, but what is actually in the middle, okay, that we think about all the time, let's say would be our job. So if I'm job-centered, how would we view family through that lens? So we can see that in a job-centered world, our family can become, in our heart of hearts, a distraction. Okay, families are distractions, even though we publicly say that family is very important. Okay, what if on the other hand, let's say if we put money at the center of our lives? Okay, now how would we view our health? Now we might say publicly that we really intend to take care of our health, but in our heart of hearts, because we're currently consumed, okay, with financial concerns and aspirations, that we simply don't have enough time today. Okay, we don't have time today, but we make a promise to ourselves that we're going to take care of our health tomorrow, first thing, after we take care of our finances. Of course, tomorrow may never come. If, let's say, politics is in the middle, now we can see that this would impact our conversations in our family, in the dinner table, in our spare time at work, and so on. So even though all of these things are good, they can create unintended consequences. So let's do this again in the context of the members of our family. When it comes to our family members, what are the important components that they are juggling? Okay, perhaps they're trying to fit in. They're working on their relationships, social media, grades in school for those of our family members that are currently in school, or their futures. They're worried about their health, whether it's emotional health, social health, mental health, their self-esteem, school, of course, if they're in school. Okay, so what happens if family members put social media in the center of their lives? Okay, how does that impact every facet of their lives? I've had parents ask me, at what age should I allow my child to have a cell phone when they feel that they are left out without one? In other words, we can be a family that is centered on social media. Okay, so what happens for those that are in school? What happens if I put grades in the middle? Now, I remember working with a very successful elementary school in a very affluent area. In this case, I'm defining success as a school with high student achievement scores, and the school consistently ranked in the top 5% in their state in the United States. Okay, so I remember asking the principal, so why am I doing here? It seems like you guys are doing a pretty good job. He goes, actually, we're not. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, we're an elementary school, and we're actually having parents tell their own children, if you don't do well in this test, you won't have dinner. He gave me an example of a student that this happened to, and she ends up progressing through middle school and in high school. And when she was in high school, she took the ACT test, which you know is a standardized test for a college admission. And the score that she received is not what the parents expected. And she was so distraught that she took her own life. So even putting things like grades, okay, at school can have unintended consequences. So deciding what goes in the center of our lives is a big question, because regardless of our answer, it has an impact on how we view our self-worth. Okay, regardless of our age or any member of our family, we may struggle with the question, in the context of living life, who am I? Okay, I love that quote from Eric Fromm, who said, if I am what I have and I lose what I have, who then am I? Sometimes we and our children attach our personal identity and our personal value on things that can be lost or easily diminished, such as grades, social media, sizes of our bank account, and so forth. Okay, so with that said, what should we put in the middle? And whatever we put in the middle in one has to be the same as what we put in the middle in the other side, the other one. Okay, because if we don't, then we're going to be living two lives. Okay, one for ourselves and one for our family. Okay, or worse, we could be living different lives depending on our roles. Okay, so we can be a different person when we are at work as opposed to when we are at home. We can be a different person depending on the family member. Okay, we can be like a chameleon, okay, that changes its colors to fit the environment. So what are we going to put in the middle then? Okay, this is a big question. Now, we're not limited to the words that we see here. This is intended just to consider possibilities. So what do you think each member of our family would say if we asked them individually what should go in the middle? Okay, this is important because if each member of the family puts something different, then each member of the family could be going in different directions. So here's what I'm suggesting that you should at least consider putting in the middle. And what I find is that my suggestion can take different forms, okay, and we will consider different possibilities in subsequent videos. So I'm suggesting that what goes in the middle is developing personal leadership. Okay, now most people think of leadership as it's the few who lead the many. Others think of someone who is charismatic or outgoing, or someone who's always the life of the party. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about personal leadership. And others refer to words like personal responsibility or personal accountability. So let's go back to the previous visual and consider the impact when we put developing personal leadership in the center. So if I put developing personal leadership at the center of my life, okay, how would I see? I would see my job simply as a means, okay, to provide for my family and to make a contribution, and it's just a necessary part of life, but it is not the center of my life. Okay, if I put personal leadership in the middle, how would I view my health? Well, I would view my health as a means to prepare to lead my life. Okay, now if you thought that this content is worthwhile, please consider subscribing to this channel, and please share this video with those that you feel would benefit from this type of content. Now, I love the quote from Socrates, which says, "The beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms." So with the content that we have discussed so far, it begs the question, when we say personal leadership, what does that mean exactly? And what does it look like? Okay, so that is the content that we will cover in the next video. Okay, now creating a happy family can't be done with one 10-minute video. We're first just setting the foundation. After the foundation is set, we will challenge. We'll address challenges that we're currently facing, and hopefully anticipate the many that may come in the future. Okay, creating a happy family. This is such important work, because strengthening the family is the most important work that we can all do. We'll see you in the next video.